Today we will find out what projects to invest in right now. You will find out why now is probably not the best time for GameFi and fast 20 to 50x returns, and when the time for them is really going to come back again. We will find out what cryptocurrencies you really want to consider buying right now at the moment, and after they grow, where should you move your money next in order to constantly make more and more gains. My name is Nick, this is the Cryptus channel, and we're starting to look at the market phases of asset growth. So actually there are 4 of them, 4 market phases which form a cycle lasting for 4 years in cryptocurrency, I mean. And there is a phase of accumulation, where the market is really low, market rising, when the prices start rising, the distribution, where all the basically big guys and market makers start to sell off, the hype of cryptocurrency, you can call it like this, and the market downfall, what we've just passed in the recent couple of months and weeks actually. And accumulation and distribution are the main 2 phases we want to work with, and they last for the longest, about 1.5 to 2 years each. The other 2 last for about 3 to 6 months. And in each of these phases we need to buy different crypto if we want to make the most out of our investments, so basically the biggest gains, because there are phases where you just don't want to get gains, but you rather want to make sure that you take no losses, like for example when the market is falling or when we are in the accumulation. And basically we don't want our portfolio going to zero because we buy some shitcoins in the bear market, right? And our team has prepared quite a few charts in order to back up the information we want to present today in today's video, so be warned, there is going to be a lot of numbers, letters and data in this video, so let's go. We'll start with the accumulation phase, which is where we are right now at the moment of this video in the market, and probably will be there for about 1 to 1.5 next years. After the downturn, when the market is down at about 70 to 90% of the price from its highest turns, basically depending on the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin falls 70 to 85% down, different altcoins fall like about 85 to 99%, so depending on their undercapitalization and basically their liquidity. On this time, most of the paper hands are selling off their crypto, and basically many times cheaper than they bought it before, basically in the distribution phase of the market when crypto was really expensive and all the hype was there. But buying here is not smart enough. Not buying is what matters. We have to know what exactly we want to buy, which coins are fundamental in this phase, so they don't scam and don't even survive to the next bull cycle actually. And as an example, I took for example Ethereum, XRP, ADA Cardano, Tron, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and XLM and Dash. And these coins were considered as the most fundamental ones, or one of the most fundamental altcoins back in 2017, and remain highly liquid and fundamental until this day. And as we can see, if we were to buy them in the highs of 2018, basically the last bull run, in percentage terms they would give different yields or different gains as results in the last basically bull run 2021 2022, because some of the coins have grown more than Bitcoin did and some haven't been so impressive. Basically they were outperformed by Bitcoin, and they didn't even reach their previous highs from 2017 in 2021, even though this is a fundamental altcoin. It was outperformed by Bitcoin, but some did better. However, we're not interested in buying the highs of the bull market. We want to accumulate crypto when it has dropped significantly, like as I said, about 70 to 90% of its highs, if it's a fundamental altcoin. So let's take a look at the graphs or at the charts starting from 2019, when the coins were down really notably, like basically at their lows. As we can see, the results in percentage terms are pretty good, and most of the coins grew either as much as Bitcoin in the percentage rates or higher. But there were also coins like XRP, XLM, and Tron, which even though they are giving us profit, or they gave us profit during the last bull cycle from their downs, it wasn't quite close to Bitcoin or some other fundamental altcoins. Let me just give you more specific examples on this one. First, give me just a minute to introduce you to the graph, basically how to read it. The green line always on each graph that I've prepared is Bitcoin, so basically it's volatility in price. You can see that the price is either going down or up, and it's seen or viewed in a percentage rate. And the next line is the other cryptocurrency. You can read right here which one it is, or I'm just gonna mention it. So for example, this is the price relation from Ethereum to Bitcoin in their gains. So what can we see here? The chart is going from 2019, for the beginning of 2019 till today's date, so basically it's August 2022. And here was the accumulation phase, basically when you could buy all the crypto really cheap. The question is which one will grow back again, and we were looking here only at fundamental coins. We're not looking at any meme coins, GameFi and stuff like this, which basically grows once during the bull cycle and never grows again. So this is fundamental stuff, which is pretty unlikely, though not definitely, that these coins are going to grow again, and some of them might outperform Bitcoin during the next bull cycles. So as we can see, Bitcoin and Ethereum started growing during the same time, basically at the end of 2021. This is when the growth started happening, when we exceed the $19,000 around here and went higher up. And Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin by about 4 times if you bought it at its lows or anywhere near its lows. So basically, what does it mean? We're looking at the median price of Bitcoin at about $7,000 because yeah, it was down to $3,500, but nobody actually bought there, or a few people did. So $7,000 is a good medium percentage rate where you could buy in Bitcoin. So basically, this is a line here. And same goes for Ethereum. Basically, during the time when Bitcoin was $7,000, you could have bought it at the price when Ethereum was trading there. And basically, if you have bought Ethereum rather than Bitcoin at the same time, you would get more gains than from Bitcoin. So basically, from Bitcoin, if you would buy it for $7,000, you would gain approximately 1,000%, so 10x's from Ethereum at their highs. If you would manage to sell there, you would gain 2,400% or 24x's from this medium price over here. Next coin example is XRP. Now, XRP didn't perform quite as well as Bitcoin did, for example. As you can see, you could still make some gains from XRP, and a lot of percent actually, but if you're buying or accumulating Bitcoin rather than XRP, you would have done a lot better than XRP did. But it's still a fundamental altcoin, and a lot of fans from XRP are still holding it, including me. I do have some XRP in my portfolio. Maybe it will work out, maybe not, who knows. So basically, next one is ADA Cardano. Now, ADA Cardano outperformed Bitcoin by a lot, and did it for the second time now, because in 2017 it was growing quite rapidly as well. If you had bought ADA Cardano, then basically the ADA Cardano would outperform Bitcoin by 3,750%, because you could buy it at 3 to 15 cents and could sell it off for about $3 approximately. What's also notably here is that Bitcoin is always the first one to rise, because the liquidity or the money, basically the pumping of the coins, is always going from the highest capitalization cryptocurrency or the most liquid cryptocurrency is being pumped up, and then the money is taken out to basically pump all the other altcoins, and basically moving by liquidity and by capitalization. So the higher or the bigger the coin is, the earlier it's going to be pumped after Bitcoin. Same example, for example, with Tron. Just like with XRP, it's got outperformed by Bitcoin. Next one is Ethereum Classic. There was a time when gains by Ethereum Classic were a bit higher than of Bitcoin, like quite a little bit more you can make off with your trade here, but still Bitcoin outperformed Ethereum Classic quite a bit if you didn't sell here. Let me just give you like 1 or 2 examples more. Litecoin, the same as, for example, XRP Tron, it almost performed as well as Bitcoin. XLM did like really not good during the last cycle, and Dash, same as XLM, or for example Litecoin. Some of these coins didn't even reach their highs from the last bull cycle. 2 things we want to note here. Even though these are all fundamental altcoins, only a portion of these coins performed better than Bitcoin. So it's clear that it's necessary to diversify and pick a multitude of projects to invest in if you don't want to end up owning just one single project with 100% of your portfolio that will be outperformed by basically Bitcoin, so the market average. This will be quite sad. So if we were to diversify across different fundamental projects, there is a chance some of them will outperform Bitcoin and will do better than the market average. But now there's a question. There have been projects that promise to do like world-changing stuff, and so they get tens or hundreds of X's in the last bull cycle of Bitcoin in 2017-2018. Why don't we just invest in these awesome projects right now, or basically right then, when everything is down like 95 or 99%, and get the same insane X's in the next cycle based on these projects, because of course their capitalization is much smaller, so it's easier to for them to reach better prices actually in the bull market than Bitcoin. I have prepared a review of a few coins from the CoinMarketCap's top 50 coins of 2017-2018 that showed super results at the time, but actually look at what happened to them by this cycle in 2021-2022. They all have like literally died out, no access there, and got completely outperformed by Bitcoin. Because just imagine, those were the ultimate hype coins of that time, but they weren't fundamental. They were launched on hype. And these coins were going down by 18 and by 90, by 99% of their price regarding the all-time highs. And it was actually a good entrance point compared to the highs from a few months ago. But what happened is that these projects have never started growing again, and in the next bull cycle, therefore the growth was really limited and much worse than the gains of Bitcoin. And here are some examples of these projects again. This project is called Verge, or XVG, was top 50 projects of CoinMarketCap, did a lot of hype back then at this time, and basically look what happened. So basically, first of all, it did like a lot of excess compared to Bitcoin on their highs in 2018. But now, here's the thing. Basically, you start accumulating because the coin was somewhere here by the chart. I'm not showing the complete chart. It falls, you start accumulating somewhere here, then somewhere here, and then even here. And basically what happens is it gets completely outperformed by Bitcoin, even though you were thinking, yo, I need to buy it now because it's down 99%. Imagine if it's going to grow to less prices. Well, it didn't go to the former prices. Same, for example, BCN. I don't remember the complete name of the coin. It doesn't show the complete chart here, but again, the coin was really high up. It has fallen below 99.99%. So imagine this one. Yeah, of course, you could buy it here for way cheaper, but this is still not the performance of Bitcoin or of any other crypto. And we're not getting to the juicy part yet with the other cryptos. Or here, another Populissus, the project is called PPT. Same stuff here. Imagine buying here, then buying here, then buying here. And again, you almost make no gains. And if you have bought way higher, like for example, like, I don't know, 50 times more expensive during the bull market, of course, you will never get your money back. So this is things you need to consider. And basically, the bear market is time to buy fundamental coins, not these creepy altcoins that will never grow back again. Again, people wanted to gain more by investing in projects like this with a smaller market capitalization and ended up losing even more compared to the market average or to Bitcoin or to different good altcoins. Because what I'm trying to say is here, during the bear market, where we are roughly in right now, you should avoid investing in hype-up projects from the last cycle to get more access in the future, because more often than not, this is not going to be the case. You won't make the same earnings because the coins are just going to die out. Instead, put your money into fundamental projects, some of which will outperform Bitcoin, some will maybe be at the same level as Bitcoin in terms of percentage gains, and some actually won't reach Bitcoin at all, as we saw from these examples right here. Just like draw an analogy with the previous cycle, 2017 to 2022, that I just showed you in the charts, and that will help you imagine the possible future, one of the future outcomes for the crypto market. And I don't have like a single hyped up GameFi project left or coin left in my portfolio at this moment of time, just because, yeah, I think you get the point, because the chances are high that they will never be revived, because for the market maker, it's just easier to start a new project from blank rather than holding the price of a coin during a certain period of time. So the less liquid the coin is, the more the chances are that it's going to die out in the bull market, and then the same coin with a different name will be just launched by the same guys during the next, I said bull market before, I think I meant bear market, and then during the next bull market, they will just launch a new coin and make their gains again. So right now is the time to buy Bitcoin, Tier 1 and Tier 2 blockchains, architecture, and DeFi. Maybe a little bit DeFi. We'll get into that more in a minute. And for the people asking why, just because there's more probability of them, of Tier 1 and Tier 2 coins and Bitcoin, growing back to their all-time highs and surpassing them and giving us at least 5 to 10x return in the next bull cycle. You shouldn't take like a stab in the dark and bet your whole portfolio on some GameFi hoping it will give us the next 1000x in the next bull market. It's just like blind luck if you manage it, choose the right projects, that would be great, but I don't like really relying on coping on luck, and therefore there will be a time for GameFi, just not now, and we're going to get this when the time for GameFi is in just a couple of minutes. Now, some might say that there have been projects that gave us much more profit than Bitcoin, like for example Matic, Solana, DOT, Atom, and yes, there sure have been, and there definitely will be even more coming out like these projects in the future. But ask yourself a question right now: when did they appear in the market? When was the listing? Was it at the beginning of the bear market or at the end? All these projects were launched and listed in the end of the last bear market, a short time before the market pumped. So these like new fundamentals, unlike older ones, weren't pumped up before, which made it easier for them to skyrocket later. And here's the same graph that I just showed you on the screen. It must appear somewhere there without Matic and Solana, because they totally mess up the graphs. You don't even see the relation to Bitcoin. So I just show you without Matic and Solana, so you see the relation better. And we can see that the major part of the new fundamentals gave us the best results only after the Bitcoin pump. So when Bitcoin finished pumping, then this was the time for the new, basically top tier blockchains from nowadays, meaning that Bitcoin reached like $60,000, stopped there, while these coins still kept growing in percentage ratio to Bitcoin, of course. So liquidity again goes in like an order. It goes from more liquid projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum and stuff to less pumped and less capitalized coins. So again, all these top gainers, fundamentals, new fundamentals appeared during the end of the bear market, of the last bear market. They weren't pumped before. So if we take this idea from the previous cycle and apply it to today's market, to the next cycle situation, basically, we will see that the new super fundamental projects aren't even out yet, so we can't even buy them because, yeah, they're coming towards the end of the bear market. So we will be accumulating them definitely for the future, but we can't do it now because they're not on the market right now. Maybe it will be Aptos, maybe it will be Suyo, some of these projects. Maybe we didn't even hear about them at this point of time, so we just need to wait. Second thing I want to mention is it's important to understand that the already present, basically hyped up fundamentals like DOT, like Atom, like Sol, like Matic, most of them probably won't grow in percentage rates as much as before. So Matic 1000X, what are the chances it's going to repeat the same in the next bull market? Like 1% maybe. The chances are really, really low. So yes, it's very likely that they will grow, but not so much in percentage ratio, because it's pretty unlikely that, again, Matic gave 1000x, that it will repeat the same again, dropping only like 10x right now, or right now it's like 90 cents. Their highs were like $3, so the only drop, like, but literally not much at all. So you need to understand that the former best performing projects must not be necessarily the future best performing projects. Nevertheless, we still do accumulate these fundamental coins, use them to survive the bear market, because we don't know which one of these coins will basically outperform Bitcoin, and we still like kind of don't want to have everything in Bitcoin during the bear market, because we can still trade different altcoins to Bitcoin to increase our quantity of coins. And basically, based on these coins, we can still definitely get like 5 to 10, maybe 15, 20 X's during the next bull market when the market grows again, and then put the money, take it out of these coins, sell these coins when they grow into newer promising projects to gain profits there, when the current fundamentals are about to stop their growth. A few of such coins, or a few such examples, are, for example, Solana, DOT, Matic, and AVAX again, and Atom, which I've just told you in the graph altogether. But now let's look at them all separately. So this is, for example, Bitcoin compared to Solana, Solana to USDT, Bitcoin against the USDT. This is the price when Bitcoin was accumulated. This is the end of 2020, basically beginning 2021, when Bitcoin started surging up. So this was the price of Bitcoin 10,000. Here it was like 30,000. Here it was 60,000, and just here it was 69,000. So as we can see, Solana started growing way after Bitcoin has started its growth. So basically, you could buy Bitcoin, then sell it off for a few X's, like at least 3, 4, 5, 10X, depending on where you bought it, and then buy Solana and get these gains over here. First buy Bitcoin here, sell Bitcoin, buy Solana, Solana does this. Next example. This is DOT compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is again the green line, DOT is the orange line. DOT didn't perform as well as Bitcoin, though it still outperformed it by about twice, and twice from 600%, which Bitcoin did, is again another 600% more. So this is 6x more, so this is quite good. And basically, again, the same thing. We use Bitcoin to survive the bear market, then DOT gets listed just over here, and basically you can still sit tight in Bitcoin over here, then just spread out to Polkadot, or even do it here. Doesn't matter actually. So because DOT again got pumped only after Bitcoin got pumped. Next one, Matic. We can't actually see the graph of Bitcoin over here, but this is again when Bitcoin started growing, and Matic is probably like an opposite example, but the opposite examples always only like prove the mainstream of the different examples. So yeah, of course you can be lucky and get something like Matic, but the chances are really low. So I just don't like betting on luck. Yeah, so basically Matic did really outperform Bitcoin by a lot. Next one is AVAX, or Avalanche. So Avalanche, Bitcoin really outperformed Avalanche during a lot of time. But again, you could wait till Bitcoin rose like somewhere up here, or even to the highs, or the first highs, and then move everything to Avalanche, and then you could gain like again 1100% out from there. And the last one is Atom. Atom, actually the same story, don't want to repeat myself again. I think you've got the idea. First Bitcoin is pumping, then everything is also pumping. So it makes sense to keep Bitcoin here. When Bitcoin grows, sell it, buy different fundamental new altcoins. Here's what I do, for example. I spend like 2/3 of my portfolio on fundamentals on the beginning and middle of the bear market, just to make sure that I don't get like wrecked during the bear market, that no stablecoin dipex and stuff. And I really do buy the assets I actually want to buy, the fundamental assets. And I have about 1/3 left, so
buy actually some new promising coins. Like for example, last cycle it was Solana, it was Atom, it was DOT, and for the next cycle, I don't know what it will be. It's probably not out, not even on the words yet. So yeah, I leave 1/3 of the cryptocurrency or stablecoins to buy new fundamental altcoins, which will skyrocket with a high probability during the next bull cycle. Because of course you need to do your analysis, you need to do your research, and this is what the cash is actually left for, to buy these researched good coins. Also, when the older fundamentals growth, like Bitcoin, Ethereum and stuff, and in this case it will be like, I don't know, Ada Cardano, it will be Atom, DOT, Solana for the next cycle, I actually sell them and transfer the money to the new coins that have basically the potential to show even better results than Bitcoin. So basically always move your liquidity when the market is growing from higher capital coins to lower capitalized coins. What I'm trying to say is that the existing fundamental coins, with a few exceptions, won't probably give us as many % of returns of profit as those that haven't come out yet, that will be still there in the future. Again, like something like Sui, like Aptos maybe. So I diversify my portfolio and I don't spend all my money on buying these fundamental projects right now. Like look, Atom is cheap, DOT is cheap. Yeah, of course they're cheap. They are going to make some X in the future, but this is not where the most gains are being made in the future. That's only to survive the bear market, not only being in stable coins, because that's also a stupid idea. And because you want the assets you're storing and to grow also with the market when it starts growing. So basically, I do have these assets in my portfolio, but I'm ready to sell them at the moment that they start growing, and newer assets that haven't been pumped yet basically will occur in the market or will get listed on the market. This is the plan. Survive with old assets, transfer to new assets. Now let's move on to DeFi. A separate type of coins, at least for me during the last bull cycle, was DeFi protocols, or coins on tokens from DeFi protocols. In essence, the tendency is the same as with older and newer fundamental blockchains, but here the graph or the chart is basically showing the top DeFi projects and their performance to Bitcoin. It will be somewhere on the screen right now. And if we were to grab those before the market pump, so the DeFi protocols before the market pump, the story will be just about the same as with the fundamental coins. Some of them will be outperformed by Bitcoin, some of them were outperforming Bitcoin, so it was like 50-50 chance. So oddly enough, as we can see from the chart, it will be much more like wise or interesting to invest in DeFi protocols during the market pump and basically transfer parts of the fundamentals which we've bought before, like for example Bitcoin and Ethereum, into DeFi when Bitcoin hadn't reached its peaks yet. Because on the start of the pump of 2021, DeFi actually correlates with Bitcoin, but later where Bitcoin reached $30,000, the DeFi projects and Bitcoin take part from each other, so like they have completely different courses, and Bitcoin gives us another 2 to 2.5x's depending on where we sold it, while the major DeFi protocols give us another 5 to 10, somewhere to some ones to even 20 or 30x's. So again, keep your assets in Bitcoin and fundamental coins, and later it makes sense to convert part of them into DeFi. However, DeFi might actually just be in yesterday's hype. I'm not saying that DeFi will go away as technology, but again, the price surge for DeFi, it was like, maybe it was something for the last cycle. Maybe for the next cycle, there will be some new category of projects which will be hyped. It doesn't have to be DeFi, but we can see again the stuff which was going on into DeFi basically in price terms. Let's go more exact and look at a few graphs or charts over here. So here we've got Uniswap, for example. This is actually the time when Bitcoin just started growing, so surpassed like $10,000 or $20,000, and somewhere here Bitcoin was not somewhere exactly here, Bitcoin was about $30,000 to $32,000. From here on, Bitcoin made like another 2 to 2.5x if we want to calculate to here, but Uniswap outperformed Bitcoin on this starting from here on, and basically made another 1,600%. Nice. Next one is Sushi compared to Bitcoin. The same thing, just Sushi surged even 2 times more than Uniswap, so 3,200%. Or for example, we've got the next coin called 1inch. 1inch is also a great project I use personally for DeFi trading because it always gives you the lower prices for coins. Same thing here. Basically, Bitcoin rises, then 1inch gets listed. You could buy it off here and make even more gains, so double gains actually. You buy Bitcoin cheaper, sell it higher, buy 1inch cheaper, sell it higher. That's how crypto works. So again, in this case, it will be again more profitable to get into DeFi only when the market started growing.
But anyway, in the bear market, it was again the best way to stay in Bitcoin and other altcoin fundamentals and later transfer the liquidity to smaller projects like DeFi. This covers actually how to behave in the bear market and the pump phase when the market starts growing. But there is the next most exciting phase or cycle during the complete 4-year cycle called the distribution period, when actually the guys who bought a lot of crypto down there sell a lot of crypto up here, promising it will go even higher, and of course it doesn't. So what should we do during the bull market or the distribution phase? This is the phase where different projects like, for example, GameFi, Metaverses, NFTs, they all ease like 100x's and they give us just like terrific gains. So let's look at GameFi. What should we do with GameFi? When is the right time to buy? Actually, before the major market pump, there was only one GameFi project that really took off together with Bitcoin. It was Axie Infinity, one of the first play-to-earn games. It's hard to predict such success to a certain project, so at this time, during the pump, or during the pump cycle, it still made sense to keep your assets in fundamentals, like Bitcoin, again, other fundamental altcoins, new projects, and DeFi coins. Here, that same graph again that I just showed you was somewhere on the screen, but without Axie Infinity, so you can actually see the smallest and low liquid market segments that they were pumped up last, because this is the time, again, where liquidity and easy money ended up going. So liquidity and easy money from Bitcoin, lots of people earned there, started pumping up these GameFi coins because they had like microcaps, they were easy to pump up. Imagine Bitcoin with $1 trillion and then like 1,000 projects with, I know, $1 million, $10 million. That was their approximate cap. Let's look at a few specific examples and see when it made the most sense to invest in GameFi and Metaverses in the last cycle. So here's, for example, Mana, or decentralized as it's called though. So this here is June 2022. June 2022 starts here. These are the other month. So only in the beginning or at the end of 2021, I mean, decentralized started pumping up when Bitcoin reached its highs on the bull market. So actually, this is the point where Bitcoin was $69,000 in November of 2022, and on the whole or complete Bitcoin chart, this was somewhere here. Not even somewhere. This was exactly here. So this is like the last cycle. And this is when Decentraland started pumping up. Here, you wouldn't have made any gains here somewhere between this period of time. The most gains from GameFi came up here during this time when crypto was at its highest. The fundamentals didn't grow anymore, but the GameFis from here started growing, and this is when it makes sense to buy them. Next one is, for example, Sandbox or Sand. Again, Sand is the yellow one, Bitcoin is here. Even harder to say where Bitcoin was, because compared to Bitcoin, it made like 4,000% or 40x's when Bitcoin didn't rise anymore. Imagine you taking your money out of Bitcoin. Of course, if you have a few million dollars there, that's not an option you could do, because you would just ruin the price for Sand. You would just like rise the token, you know, really high. But if you're just starting crypto, this is a great idea. First invest into fundamentals, then split the capital into microcaps like GameFi and projects of end use. Same with Engine. Engine still outperformed Bitcoin again on its highs when Bitcoin was $69,000. GMT, the stepping token, it like jumped into the last wagon of the train, basically already in the middle of 2022 in March, not in the middle. And this is when the prices were starting up, and this was like the last project which really pumped from this cycle. So it like brought everything closely to an end. And the last one is Gala Gaming Studio, I think it is. Basically, imagine you're selling Bitcoin down here for $60,000 something dollars, buying Gala, then making again these 5x returns really easy. So this is the thing with low cap, GameFi project, Metaverses, and all the stuff like this. They always pump at the end of the bull market and die off in the bear market. Like really few of them will survive. So these are our GameFi projects, or like end user projects. End user, I mean like you don't use them to take out the cash out there and use it somewhere else. Like for example, at DEX, you use it to basically trade and then use the cryptocurrency somewhere else. No, you just play games because it's fun. Well, actually it's meant to be fun, but most of all crypto games are grinding right now. But nevertheless, like end user projects. These are all taking off when the market isn't growing anymore. The fundamentals aren't growing anymore because their liquidity is poured into these low cap projects, basically in the highs of Bitcoin. So it will be really irrational to invest in GameFi in the bear market. So we are where we are right now, just because GameFi will definitely come, but it will be the last.
So take the movement of the fundamental coins and then pour them over into GameFi. This will be the smartest thing to do if you like GameFi. This is not the time for GameFi. I'm sorry, I really like GameFi too, but like I can't invest in them right now because it sounds silly. And also keep in mind that not all GameFi projects are basically like, I don't know, top tier, because some of them can do something like this. I'll show you the graph here, because they can come out on the market, you buy them, but they never even reach the peaks when you bought them. So they will just fall down because it's like the token has not much utility, or the market maker is really bad, or the devs made enough cash from the token sale. They don't need to basically manipulate the token anymore. So diversify here. It's also a really good idea. So let's draw like a conclusion here and put it on a timeline for when the time is right to buy certain categories of projects in correlation with Bitcoin. So for example, here I've got the graph of Bitcoin. This is 2017, 2018, their highs there. Then this is 2018 to 2000 and the end to 2020. And this is the period of time where we are right now. So the beginning, it makes sense to buy fundamentals. Again, this is the time we are right now, just in correlation to the last cycle. Then in the last 2/3 of basically the bear market, you want to buy new fundamentals. So this is the time when Solana got listed, when Atom got listed, when DOT got listed, and stuff like this. Then somewhere here, you might consider buying DeFi. But actually, again, as I said before, DeFi might be only in price terms. I mean, not in fundamental terms. The hype of the past, maybe right here will be a new category of projects which will be pumped really hard. Then again, this when the distribution happens, when the crypto reaches its max prices, you actually want to buy hype projects, GameFi projects, NFTs, maybe social networks will be a thing next bull cycle. And when the market is falling, you just want to sell in May and go away. Basically, just go on vacation here or something like this for half a year. And here you want to start buying fundamentals again. So this is actually easy. The patience is what makes it hard. Not even that the crypto is fallen like 80 to 90% down, because everybody is used to this. Come on, the patience waiting for this long period of time, like 2 years, is what kills all the paper hands and what doesn't let you earn money in cryptocurrency. So be patient, choose your cryptocurrency wisely, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, just invest wisely, have a second, sometimes a third thought about every decision you take, especially if it's emotional or afraid or greasy. There's time for each type of project, but not always on the same time. There are market phases. And right now, it's the time or the phase for buying fundamentals, Bitcoin and top altcoins. And it's not the time for insane profits, it's not the time for GameFi, NFTs, and stuff like this. It will be later. So have patience, get yourself some proper high quality liquid altcoins, and wait for the next cycle to convert them into something else less fundamental, where the gains will be really high. It won't happen anytime soon now. And that's where the money is going to be. That's how simple it is. Now this is the time to prepare and accumulate. Collect good coins. I hope this video was interesting, informative, and useful and helpful for you. And to you, see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.